they have to convince you to stay, leave. Have you ever noticed how the people who ask you to sacrifice yourself the most are usually the ones who would never sacrifice themselves for you? Think about that. Some of you have spent years trying to be the good person. You stayed in relationships that made you cry because you didn't want to hurt them. You stayed in friendships where you felt invisible because you didn't want anyone to feel abandoned. You stayed in jobs that drained your soul because you didn't want to disappoint your boss. You stayed in places where you were constantly disrespected because you convinced yourself that leaving would make you selfish. But tell me, who taught you that loving yourself is selfish? Who taught you that protecting your peace is wrong? Who taught you that your purpose in life is to carry everyone else's pain while ignoring your own? Because that's a lie. A dangerous lie. Some people benefit from you having low standards. Some people benefit from you doubting yourself. Some people benefit from you believing that you don't deserve better. Because the moment you realize your worth, they lose control. You know what's heartbreaking? There are people who wake up every single day feeling guilty, not because they've done something wrong, but because they're finally thinking about choosing themselves. Read that again. You feel guilty for wanting peace, for wanting respect, for wanting honesty, for wanting the bare minimum. Why? Because you've spent so long putting everyone else first that you've forgotten what it feels like to matter. You are not responsible for saving people who keep drowning you. You are not responsible for fixing people who keep breaking you. And you are certainly not responsible for shrinking yourself so someone else can feel bigger. The truth is, the people who truly love you will never require you to betray yourself in order to keep them. Real love doesn't ask you to become smaller. Real friendship doesn't demand your silence. Real family doesn't manipulate you with guilt. And real respect never asks you to abandon your own boundaries. Some of you are afraid to leave because you're worried about how they'll feel. But have you ever stopped to ask yourself, how have you been feeling all this time? How many nights have you cried? How many mornings did you wake up anxious? How many times did you replay conversations in your head, wondering if you were asking for too much, when all you wanted was basic human respect? Listen carefully. The version of you who settles will never meet the version of you who is free, because they cannot exist at the same time. One version keeps saying yes when she wants to say no. The other says no without apologizing. One version begs to be chosen. The other chooses herself first. One version waits for people to change. The other walks away. You have to decide. Which version are you becoming? People will call you cold. People will call you difficult. People will say you've changed. Good. Growth always looks offensive to people who benefited from your lack of boundaries. You don't need to explain why you left. You don't need a 20-page presentation proving why someone hurt you. You don't need permission to walk away from something that steals your peace. No is a complete sentence. Walking away is a complete answer. Silence is sometimes the loudest form of self-respect. And here's something nobody tells you. Every single time you accept disrespect, you're teaching people how to treat you. Every time you ignore your intuition, you teach yourself not to trust your own voice. Every time you stay somewhere, your soul is begging you to leave. You slowly lose yourself, not all at once, little by little, until one day you look in the mirror and don't recognize the person staring back at you. Don't let that happen. You deserve to wake up feeling calm. You deserve relationships where love doesn't feel confusing. You deserve friends who celebrate your success instead of competing with it. You deserve a life where you don't constantly have to prove your value, because your value was never something you had to earn. It was always yours. People don't determine your worth. Your relationship status doesn't determine your worth. Your job doesn't determine your worth. Your mistakes don't determine your worth. You were worthy before they met you. You'll be worthy after they leave. And you'll still be worthy even if they never understand why you walked away. Remember this, not everyone is meant to come with you. Some people are lessons. Some people are chapters. Very few people are forever. Stop trying to make temporary people permanent. Sometimes losing people is actually making room for yourself. The strongest decision you'll ever make isn't chasing someone. It's choosing yourself. Even when it hurts,